here a lot, just like that.
All right.
All right. Come over here and hop in my chair and hope I'm centered properly. This is
You want me to look?
No, that's okay. This is what
Okay.
happens when you have guerrilla
Oh,
filmmaking. This is great. How are you?
I'm doing all right, Steve.
Good. For those of you who don't know, this is my good friend Cavan, who has written, produced, directed Die Hard is a Christmas movie, the musical. And I want to dive into that, but I have something for you first.
Okay.
I know you lived in New Orleans.
I did.
Do you know what a calla is?
No.
Okay. So I had no idea what these were either until we went down for Mardi Gras. And this is something I wanted to share with you.
Thank you.
Callas, so back in Louisiana, during the period of slavery, you were a slave Monday through Saturday, and you had Sunday to do whatever errands you had. On Sundays, the women would go and make these things called callas. They're rice fritters that they would go around and sell to earn their freedom. And so they would buy their freedom with these little fritters. And I was just like, since it's a piece of New Orleans history, I wanted to share it with you.
Thank you. It looks kind of like, it's beignet reminiscent.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
They're very, I don't know how good they are because I made them.
We're going to get real powdery.
I have plates.
I don't need a plate. I'd rather not. Let's just do it. Let's just go for it. Ooh, they're still very warm too.
Yeah, I literally just made them.
Well, I'll just let mine cool down for a minute. But I promise, this is mine. I've touched it. No one else, I've claimed it.
That's all right.
My germs are on it, but I will let it cool down for a moment.
After doing 3 plays together, I think germs are no longer a thing.
Yes.
So what got you excited about Die Hard and turning it into a musical? Because of all the things I would have ever thought, Die Hard and musical never would have collided in my world.
Sure. So, and I'm bad at this, but I will try to be brief. But I think
it's fine. Take your time.
But really, I think often when I'm telling people how I got into the arts, usually, it starts with joining choir in high school. That was that was in many ways like the gateway to taking it seriously.
Okay.
But even before that, I like my childhood seduction style, like when I was a child and was trying to get some girl to like me.
Yeah.
It was doing song and dance lip sync shows, and often to Weird Al. I loved, I am right. I was born in 1979. Weird Al is loving Weird Al is my cultural inheritance. And then I do remember too, in our, I'd go off to a different school one day a week, and we had a bookmaking challenge, and and the book that I made, and you wrote it and you illustrated it and bound it, did it all yourself. And I did a book that was a mashup parody of Star Wars and Star Trek at the same time.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But I was 9. I was 9. The star was in the title. But the one for whatever reason, the one page that I can really remember is when they got the ship got stuck in this giant mouth. It was just this giant mouth and giant lips, and it was called the highlight zone. It just has little So I love parodies, right?
Yeah.
And I really believe that for a parody to be successful, you have to be parodying something you love. It doesn't make any sense to parody something that you think is bad. It's a lot more fun to take something holy and desecrate it.
Right.
And I absolutely do think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Christmas, movies in general, are a big part of the family that I grew up in, and also the family that I have created with my wife, my children. And so I think also one of the first things there's as there's a song a parody of Walking on Broken Glass.
Yes.
And I think it was either that one. I don't know if that one was first or Stuck in an Air Vent with You was the first one. But once one of those popped into my mind, I was oh, yep, now I know what to do. And let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long answer. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. That's.
It's fine. Long answers
Yeah.
are the best answers.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's always, it's always hard when you're interviewing someone like, so what got you into this? And they're like,
Yes.
money.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Sure.
And then you're like,
Not a non-answer. Yeah.
yeah. And then you're like, what the hell?
Oh, it's delicious. Yeah. It's like a funnel cake, beignet kind of thing.
I mean, this is only the third time I've ever made them. And this is probably the best batch I've ever made.
They're really good. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed them. I just wanted to like share some New Orleans flavor with you because that was
cool.
You lived in New Orleans for a while. How did you survive that?
I mean, I gained a bunch of weight, but I had a bunch of fun. I mean, is that the question? Or was that a real question?
When we went down there, they were like, "Don't go past Bourbon Street. You can go past." And we went down one more. It's whatever the one right behind it, because Killer Po' Boys is on that street.
Like maybe Royal or something like that.
I don't think it was Royal.
Okay.
There's one right past Bourbon, and then Killer Po' Boys is on the corner, and we instantly knew right away why you didn't do that, because there was some shady characters that were hanging out. And I don't know. It just feels like this is either alcohol's going to get you, the food's going to get you, the crime's going to get you, or the heat and the bugs were going to get you.
Well, okay. So I grew up in Orlando, and so heat and the bugs don't scare me.
It's fair.
I am always surrounded by theater degenerates, so alcohol doesn't scare me. No, but it's funny. You talk about like sketchy characters or whatever, and I don't know. I think it just so reminds me of like a soapbox moment that I have right now about Cedar Rapids. I don't know if people know we're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
We are in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Right. Is that
for those of you in France that are watching this?
Yes,
we do have a few.
Bonjour. It's interesting. So recently there were a couple like restaurants that closed down, and they made what I found to be fairly offensive public statements about like, we closed down because there's a homeless population downtown.
Oh yeah.
Right. Or there's people who are like, I won't go to the library downtown because there are homeless people downtown. Yeah. And it's like, certainly part of it is like the privilege of like, being a white dude, right? Yeah. But I feel like I've been pretty fortunate in my life that I have lived in a lot of places that other people think are sketchy.
Right.
And that to me, like what I see are like people and neighborhoods and families and when it comes to the homeless population, my assumption is not that these are sketchy characters, but that these are people who don't have a house.
So let me clarify.
No, but the same thing. It's like in New Orleans, I think that New Orleans is different from the rest of the United States.
Yes.
And so I think it's probably easy for some people to like other it or see just the differences. Mm-hmm. But also like my wife worked in the French Quarter for 2.5 years. Right. And like I rode my bike through the French Quarter for 3 years. Right. And
never had a problem. It was all fine.
Yeah. I think for the most part, people treat you how you expect to, they meet your expectations.
What you're looking for is what you're going to find. So when I was
looking for something delicious.
There you go.
You brought it.
So when I was down there, the person I was with and we got into a big fight, and I like walked out, and I was on my own in the middle of Mardi Gras. Yeah. And it's like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And I see this phone on the ground, and I don't know if you know about me, but I'm not super careful about things like this. I just grab my phone and I take it to the police station. I'm like, this is what you should do.
Okay.
And I'm there, and this lady like barges past me, and she's like, one of your officers just got his pocket picked. You might want to give this back to him, and walked away. And I was like, all right, so that's that's Mardi Gras.
Sure. Yeah, and you're in Bourbon Street, it's like you're in tourist central.
Oh, yeah.
During a tourist time, it's like
the best food I had in New Orleans was at Channing Tatum's bar. Okay. Saints and Sinners. Okay. They had the shrimp po' boy right on Bourbon Street, and it was amazing.
It's very it's very difficult to have just in general a bad meal in New Orleans.
That's not true. I had a couple. Well, we went to this one place that was on diners, drive-ins, and dives, and we're like, no.
Yeah.
This wasn't it.
Okay.
I can't remember what we ate, but it wasn't good.
I had a lot of good food.
Yes.
Yeah, Pin In gained a bunch of weight.
I mean, that's probably not hard to do there.
Not at all. Not at all.
No.
But no, I think you were asking, like, I mean, I loved living there.
Yeah.
I loved living there. I think the social parts of it were incredible. Like, yeah.
The City of the Dead was unbelievable.
Okay. What City of the Dead?
City of the Dead. It's one of the, so when you're getting, now I don't know the roads and all the exits.
Yeah.
So, but there's an exit that's right by the Superdome that as you're going up it, you can see nothing but this huge graveyard of French mausoleums and things like that. But it's so big, they have street signs in there so you don't get lost. So you can find your way out.
Yes.
And they call it the City of the Dead.
Oh, I've never heard the term. I mean, I'm guessing you're talking about like St. Louis Cemetery #1 or #2 or yeah. I mean, the
voodoo guide person told me where it was at.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an interesting thing too, doing the voodoo tour.
Yeah.
That was.
I don't know. It's so funny. They always said it as if it was unique, like as if it were, but they always said that there are like more dead people than living people in New Orleans, you know?
Isn't that true with every city?
That's what I was just gonna say. It's like something that I definitely like took on face value when I lived there, and then I was like, the numbers say, you know, like people are going to die.
Yes, and have been dying since,
historically.
Yes,
there's been some historical deaths.
There's some things about we don't know about that are people are vampires.
Nicolas Cage and
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
I saw his mausoleum.
Oh yeah. He's pre-purchased.
It's a big pyramid-looking thing. Is that sliding down? I can lock it.
I think it was. But I'm familiar. It's gonna be all right.
All right.
It's gonna be all right. I think I probably bumped it or something.
I was just trying to be helpful.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm very helpful.
I do know that. I appreciate that about you.
So Mirror Box has been on a wild journey.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to care to share with the people who don't know your story of what Mirror Box is, how it came to be?
Yeah.
And this wild thing that is the Mirror Box experience?
Yeah. So moved here from New Orleans in 2017. We moved here. My wife grew up in the area, not in Cedar Rapids, but in the area. And she was hired to run the largest nonprofit theater in the state.
That's a low key brag.
No, it's true. Like it's fun because she is an artist and an arts administrator, and I am an artist and an arts administrator, but kind of are like, I would say she's probably 70-30 with 70 being administrator, and I'm 70-30 with 70 being an artist, so it's a good mesh. It's really nice, right? Yeah. We get to inform each other's work. But, we moved here. I came shortly after her because I still had to finish my graduate program in playwriting, and, wasn't really sure what to do. And part of getting an MFA in playwriting was this idea of becoming qualified to teach in academia, to teach playwriting, teach theater in a college setting. And while there are some cool colleges around here, like, I didn't really know about the struggles that academia were going through or would continue to worsen, and the struggles of theater and academia and the struggles of theater, So I'd finished this degree program, but not really like having a lot of job opportunities or even like direct, like, I know I'm going to get some plays produced this year or next year, anything like that. And I had read this article in American Theater that said that every great theater city deserves a company devoted to new work. And that rang true with me. And as a playwright, someone who creates new works, right? But also someone who loves new plays, like, and new ideas and fresh ways of thinking, that resonated with me. And when I did undergrad in theater in Chicago, like in Chicago, it is totally like in theater school, it's a rite of passage to like you graduate and you start a theater company. You know, there are just like 8 million theater companies, and a lot of them are people just out of school or people who met in school, all that. You know, a lot of people kind of chasing the Steppenwolf dream, right?
Trying to slay the dragon.
Yeah, and different Steppenwolf, but I like that. I like it, and so yeah, that resonated with me, and and while there were pockets of kind of new things happening in Cedar Rapids, you know, it really felt more like people were really covering the hits and the classics, and there wasn't that emphasis on new work. And so started Mirrorbox. We were at CSPS Hall down in the Newbo neighborhood for 2 years. We did 4 Iowa premiere shows, and so that's the mission, is that we present Iowa premiere plays as dramatic reflections on contemporary culture.
And you've had some big hitters here.
Yeah.
Your one that you just had over the summer, we'll get back to you. I mean, that was written by a well-known author.
Rob Bell is a major thinker and
Tony-nominated director.
Yeah, it was really exciting. Yeah, so we grew from, you know, doing shows one weekend 4 times a year at CSPS, and then we started doing weekly readings in 2020. And Time Out New York listed us over 20 times as one of the best streaming theater opportunities in the country. And so started expanding our footprint, and then, you know, really is kind of coming back to in-person theater. Found this awesome historic building here and renovated it and turned it into a black box theater. And so we've had our Mirrorbox as a nonprofit organization. Well, overall as an organization, we've been producing for 7 years now.
Okay.
And then, but as 5 of those years as a nonprofit, became a nonprofit 5 years ago.
Did you hear that, audience? They're a nonprofit.
That means you can
donate.
Means you can make a tax-deductible donation at mirrorboxtheater.com/donate.
And Cavan would appreciate that, I'm sure.
Oh, I would appreciate it.
As would all of the players,
the artists, the board of directors, the community.
Yes.
And truly that was part of the thinking, was that, you know, because it was a sole proprietorship for those 2 years, which really just meant that my family would put a little bit of money up to try and make a play happen and hope to get it back. Right. And then became a nonprofit where we could receive donations and really became an organization in a different way. And the thought process behind that was that I wanted to create something that is bigger than me and create something that succeeds beyond my own personal capacity. And ideally something that could even outlive me, you know, because, and the thinking behind that, of how to make that happen, was to make sure that there was a specific mission beyond just, we want to do fun plays. I feel like that is like, you know, and I'm not throwing shade at anyone in particular, but I feel like most nonprofit theaters, like the mission statement just basically boils down to like, we want to do good plays. It's like, sure, me too.
Right,
you know, but like, what's your widget? Like, what's different? You know, so
what separates you from everybody else?
Yeah.
To continuously bring people to you.
Yeah, and keeps things focused and interesting and all those things. So that's what Mirrorbox is. Does that kind of answer in a roundabout way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
It's time for your first gift, though.
Oh,
you get to spin the wheel.
Wait,
now,
I thought this seemed like a first gift.
Seemed like a first gift. That was your thank you for casting me twice, and even though no one else appreciates my artistic,
I do appreciate
diversities.
I do appreciate it.
Now,
okay.
I know you probably have never seen this show before.
No.
We used to have wheels that you would spin.
Sure.
First of all, was the charity wheel.
Okay.
And that would be the charity that we were trying to help that week. Well, guess what? Mirrorbox is the one we're trying to help this time.
That's true. We are.
And you're wearing your Mirrorbox.
I mean,
swag,
I know.
So that's great.
Yeah.
But then you also get to walk away with some prizes.
Okay.
And we have a wheel that normally we would spin
Sure.
for that. But this time, all I have is
a wheel app.
A wheel app. Why does it say organization? I don't know what that means.
I'm guessing you put that there. I'm guessing the app did not put that in.
I don't know what happened. Okay. So go ahead and hit your spin, and you get to win a prize.
All right. I spun it.
All right.
It's real. There's proof there. Proof of spin.
Organization. I know what this is now.
I might have seen you rifling through the box. I have a feeling it's not organization.
It is not organization, but this is one of my all-time favorite low-budget movies.
Great.
And it sounds nefarious.
Sure. Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
actually is hilarious.
I believe all these things, and I saw you digging around in the box, and y'all right, Steve?
I'm good. My own stupidity. All right, here we go.
No negative self-talk. All right. Yeah. I have not seen this film.
This is I'm low key.
It's got some good, really good performers in it.
Lindsay Sloan, who, by the way, be still my beating heart.
I don't know Lindsay Sloan, actually, of all these people.
You would probably know
Maybe
her.
I do. Okay.
Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah.
Nick Kroll. Tyler Labine.
Did we bury the lead? It's called
the good old fashioned
orgy.
Not one for the kids, but it's not super. It's
a comedy about.
There's one scene that makes me go ooh.
A comedy about
it does
old friends in new positions.
Yes.
Great tagline. Yes. Okay.
So there you go. Gift number one. I hope you enjoy it.
One of the special features is on how to film an orgy.
Isn't that delightful?
For
all of those who've ever wanted to know how to do it.
I don't know if this is going to motivate me to buy a functioning DVD player or not, but maybe.
Maybe. You never know.
Thank you, Steve.
You're very welcome. You have two more coming. Whatever the wheel decides is going to be.
Whatever organization comes next.
Whatever organization comes next. That's beautiful. I like it.
Yeah.
So you are originally from Orlando.
Yeah. Well, that's ish. That's what I claim.
Do they claim you back?
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not originally from there. I was born on an army base in Frankfurt, Germany.
That's right, because I said that you and my sister have something very in common that way. She was born not in Simbach, but I believe she was also born near Frankfurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then my parents moved to Cleveland when I was 6 months old.
Sorry.
And then I visited Cleveland, and it seems pretty cool.
I have a love-hate relationship with Cleveland because that's where my ex-fiance destroyed my heart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were you living there?
No.
Okay.
It's a long.
All right. But heartbreak
story.
happened there.
It did dramatically.
Yeah.
And so now Cleveland.
Yeah.
But I did meet Cleveland's favorite son.
Drew Carey.
Oh,
right. Yeah. Price is Right.
I was fortunate enough to be on The Price is Right earlier this year.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah. But my parents met in Florida. They both went to high school in Cocoa Beach.
Yeah.
And then I had family who at the time stayed in Cocoa Beach. And then when my mom graduated law school and my parents were already divorced, we moved back to Florida, bounced around like Central Florida, like Gainesville through Orlando, essentially. And but really settled down like in a suburb of Orlando right before 8th grade. We had spent some time in Orlando before, so that's why I claim Orlando. It's easier. Orlando. It's easy.
Even though the basketball team sometimes is not as amazing.
That's what being a fan is. Being a fan is loving your team,
My Spurs are going through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Victor's great, but...
And Chris Paul is like one of the league leaders in assists at like 800 years old.
This may shock you. I don't follow basketball as closely as I once did.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't shock me. You follow. It seems like you follow football more.
Well, here's the thing.
More closely.
I used to love sports. I used to love watching sports, playing them and all that. And then something happened that made me go, I don't know how legitimate these things are anymore. And that was when the Bengals and the Rams played in the Super Bowl. And that's the year that they had just, sports betting is a good thing after being anti-sports betting. And the Rams, Vegas needed the Rams to cover the line. Otherwise, they were going to lose $2.5 billion. And all of a sudden, the Bengals, who hadn't been penalized all game, were penalized 8 times in the same drive. They allowed the Rams to win the game by 5, covering the spread and therefore winning the bet for Vegas. And that made me go, that was really weird turn of events.
At the risk of offending,
Please offend.
I do feel like you have a little bit of just generally a whiff of the conspiracy theorist in you.
I don't know that it's a conspiracy theory as much as it was just the more I sat down and watched it, the more you start to see these phantom calls or calls that are made in inopportune times that allow one. And it's just the more you start to see this pattern. Like right now, a lot of people are watching the Chiefs go on.
But then does it become confirmation bias? Like that's the risk, right? Is like, of course, you like the more you see it, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, the way I look at it is I was a lifelong professional wrestling fan.
Okay.
And I know that those outcomes are predetermined.
Sure.
So I can appreciate sports from that lens of they probably already know who they want to win and why they want to win. But I'll just enjoy the product for what it is.
Yeah, the entertainment.
And I will never bet on sports.
Yeah.
I'll never do any of that.
I think I've bet on sports. I mean, beyond like your office NCAA pool. Do you know?
Yeah.
I don't really think of that as betting. Like don't call the cops. But but in terms of like actually placing a bet, I mean it's like I actually really enjoy a short Las Vegas vacation. Like I think it gets too long really fast. Like I think 3-4 days max is like maxing out. Again, love the food. I love the people watching.
Yeah. I
love it. And then, but I think a couple of times when I've gone to Vegas, again, just because I'm like, hey, I'm in Vegas. This is a thing. Like going into like the giant Caesars sport book and placing a bet just because it's like, I'm here. Like I'm gonna spend $20 doing something in this casino, but why not try and bet on a basketball game?
So on my way back from California, I was taking the mountain pass through Utah because it was the fastest way.
Okay.
And I got to the Utah state line, and then there was an avalanche. So I had to turn around and I ended up spending the night in Vegas. So I spent one night there.
Yeah.
And I think one night was plenty for me.
Yeah.
Because I could see how easily I could get myself into trouble.
Sure. I get it. And also the food, the shows, and the people watching.
Well, if you have money for all of that, because the shows were not cheap.
No. No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I did get to see the, what is the big dome thing they have out there.
Oh,
now.
sure. The new, where they're doing sports and all that stuff.
And then, that, but also where U2 was, they have that.
I think we're
talking. I don't know what it's called.
Don't know.
But from a distance, I got to see it do its thing, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
O2 Arena? Is that what it's called?
No. This is
it doesn't matter.
U2.
I know. I know. In theory, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's boring to try and figure that out, right? I mean, it's like someone can just Google it.
Remember the days,
our friend in France can Google it.
Remember the days when you didn't have Google?
Yeah.
And you had to
just hash it out,
or go to the library and
just be wrong,
But no one would know you were wrong until the next day.
Yeah.
And then you'd get razzed about it.
Yeah, a lot of I told you so's.
Yes. Yes, I've been on that end of the stick many times. I told you so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of life, right?
Being wrong.
Yes. It is definitely
a big part of life.
And being able to say, I'm sorry, which a lot of people these days struggle with, saying, I'm sorry.
Do you think that's a now thing?
No, I think it's become more and more of a now thing. It's just, I think COVID really changed a lot of the entitlement and like I do a lot of gig work, so I see in like a lot of that side of it where there's just not a lot of gratitude from people anymore. Where at least there was some at one point in time.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, everyone just thinks it's all about them now. At least I think it's all about me a lot of times. I think
most of the time it is all about. I mean,
Well, it's hard.
What else do you have to base your experience off of other than your experience?
Right. It's hard sometimes to see beyond what is your realm of which is why philosophers, become great, because they help people see beyond their own existences and all of that.
Yeah.
And then they get hated for it.
Yeah. Corrupting the youth of Athens.
No. Socrates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved? Like, what was the moment you were like, the arts is what I want?
Yeah.
What was
that? I have a very, very clear answer for.
I would love to hear it.
Okay, so after my sophomore year of high school, I had this choir director who, had a lot of influence over everyone in the choir, and like it was maybe the last week of school, and like he didn't even ask me. He just like told me that I was going to be doing the summer musical West Side Story. That was like a different high school. Kids from all kinds of different high schools were converging on our high school to do a production of West Side Story. And so I was in the chorus for West Side Story and had a lot of fun, made a lot of friends, had a lot of fun. And then auditioned for the next play, didn't get in, but decided I wanted to be involved and was an assistant stage manager, had so much fun. And then spring play comes around, I audition, and I got a really meaty role in this Neil Simon play, Rumors.
Okay.
And up until that point, I really, my future, like I was going to be a doctor. I don't know what specialty. I hadn't really landed on that.
It's like Patch Adams?
No. I wasn't a performer. I mean, I wasn't really like, I wanted to be a doctor, and I was really good in school, and my stepdad was a surgeon. My mom was an attorney, and they both owned their own practices. They were both high achieving professionals. And like my dad had even taken me to, we had gone my junior year to go and, meet the head of the med school at University of Florida. And we sat on the 50-yard line with him for a Florida Gators game. My future was very planned to some degree. And, but at the same time, right, I'm getting more invested in singing and choir, getting more invested in theater. And so I get this big role in the spring in Rumors. And so my character, the way that it was staged in ours, I had this basically 7-minute monologue, right? Wow. Almost at the very end of the show, where it's farcical, running up stairs, running down the stairs, kind of trying to tell this Shaggy dog story, right? That's supposed to tie the whole play together. And in one of the dress rehearsals, the set was not completed yet, and I had this moment where I'm supposed to bang on the door, and in the dress rehearsal I bang on the door, and the molding falls on my head because it hasn't been done yet, and everybody thinks it's hilarious. And then so that was one backup thing. And then but also because I'm playing a character who's faking this thing, I'm wearing these pajama bottoms that are 4 sizes too big for me or something, and they're safety pinned. And we had great turnouts for our plays. I mean, we had a 700 seat theater for the main stage, for the auditorium. I think we were mostly full, right?
Wow.
Which is really fun as anyone, but also as a high schooler, right? Pretty cool for your ego.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I remember, though, I'm doing this performance, I'm doing my monologue, and first thing that goes wrong, it wasn't closing. It was the night before closing. First thing that goes wrong, I bang on the door, and the molding falls, and I catch it because the people who are doing the tech thought it was funny. Which now as an adult, I would be that's not funny. Let's not do that. but in the moment, it was fine, and I caught the thing, and I kind of whatever. I turned it into a bit, right? And I toss the thing, and get a laugh. I keep going, and then I start running up the stairs, and the safety pin on my pajama bottoms just pops, and all of a sudden my pants are down around my ankles. Again, I just turn it into a bit, and I keep running up the stairs, no pause with my pants around my ankles, and I get up I do my blocking, I get to the very top of the stairs and really really milk it, and I'm Macaulay Culkining it, right. Whatever it is, and keep going with the monologue. And I got like a partial standing ovation before the show was even done, before the curtain call, and come on,
that's all you needed.
Yeah, that's not something you come back from. And but I remember I was really nervous about what my stepdad would think in particular. And but it was that night I went into his room and I was like, hey, Michael, I have something pretty serious I need to talk to you about. To me, it feels like it's, has the weight of the world. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be an actor. And he said, oh, well, I'm not surprised. And he goes, and I think you're a very good actor, but I actually think you're going to be a writer, which was really cool support and also weirdly prescient. That was not on my mind at that moment.
What's that like to have that kind of support?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So that was, but I think rumors, doing that monologue and that performance in particular was where things really changed for me.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
It's led you down this wonderful path where a
lot of good things,
where you get to watch your own stuff happen in front of you. And that's got to be a wild feeling.
Yeah. But, although I will say, and this was, done very purposefully. I mean, Mirrorbox we did a reading of one of my plays in 2020. I'm sorry, we did a reading of one in 2020 and one in 2021, among 50 other readings, but it wasn't until a year ago this time that one of my plays was ever produced, that Mirrorbox ever produced a play that I wrote.
Yeah.
So and it was really important to me, again, kind of going along with that, the nonprofit and the fact that it's for the community, that it's not just a vanity project.
Well, the community responded really well to Die Hard last year.
That is true.
And we're hoping for another big community turnout. In fact, people from not in our community to show up and come in and witness this experience.
Yeah. Well, how far are you hoping?
France. Let's have some people from France show up.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. I know that we have one dedicated person in France. I know that.
I love it.
It's time for another prize.
Great. Am I spinning again?
You get to spin again.
Spin and prove it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can just hold it. I think it's just more visualizing. I can't. Satisfying visually to see the
Just going to make deep eye contact. Where did we end up? Is that Squatch or El Paso? Oh, no, it's El Paso. No, it's El Paso.
Oh, El Paso.
It was on the line.
It moved on you.
It was on the line. Do you know that song? Isn't that a great song?
Oh. There you go. More food.
Here's a great. I mean, we're talking about food connections. I see old El Paso and I think New York City.
New York City. And
I lived in New York City too.
So I tried those snacks and they were delightful. So now I'm going to share them with the world.
Thank you.
Yes, they are Fiesta Twists they come in salsa verde, queso. There's also another one, but those are my two favorite, and so I thought I would share those with the world.
Great. They look like maybe they're going to be airy. They're going to be nice and airy. Crispy, and light. Yeah.
They're wonderful.
Nice.
They were so.
Thank you.
The third one you get to pick yourself.
I get to pick a.
If you're unhappy with the two that you've gotten, you get to pick your third one. That is how this works.
Oh wait, if you're unhappy with two,
that you get,
then you trade them both in for another one.
No, you just get to pick something you actually would want.
Oh, okay.
That way, you at least walk away with something you like.
Okay.
Great. If the colas or the chips or the movie aren't satisfactory.
Oh my! What kind of? I mean, I feel like I'd have to be an ingrate to be like, this is not good enough, Steve.
You know what it is?
This is not good enough.
What it is that I don't know my audiences well enough sometimes. I want to make sure,
I came into this expecting 0 gifts.
Well,
so
most people do.
yeah, I would hope.
I actually have shorted you because normally you get a copy of my book because I'm very self-centered that way.
Oh man. Well, now I'm dissatisfied, and I will be taking the option. No,
I will be giving you a copy of my book at some point.
Okay.
That has been a wild thing into itself. So I donated one book to the Vinton Public Library.
Okay.
Because that's where I lived in. And the librarian was very kind to me and helped me.
Great.
And she was the first one to read my reviews because I was scared to read them.
Okay.
And she was like, these are not bad. For your first book, this is great. Like,
and the reviews are like Amazon? So it's like self-published, like Amazon reviews?
This was Kirkus did one.
Whoa. Awesome.
And Blue something did one, but the Kirkus one is the one I remember because I knew who they were. And I was like, oh gosh.
Super cool.
And so I was really nervous about that. And she read it and she's like, no, this is a good review.
Great.
She's like, it says you're, middle of the road. Mm-hmm. So accept that. And I was like, okay, great. My Amazon review is at 3.5 stars.
Again, for a first book? Okay.
So one lady who I think is my ex, I'm 90% sure she's my ex.
Yeah. Here's a little conspiracy theory happening again.
Maybe, but so let's take a step here. The ex that I'm referring to she has a very large brain.
Okay.
She's wicked smart. She was wonderful. She has a career that is very prominent.
Okay.
And the person who wrote this review is like a doctoral dissertation. I mean, it was long. I don't know who would have taken that time to do that besides an intellectual.
So what broke up you and Oprah?
Well, I was outside of my league.
Okay.
I think that's...
You were no Stedman.
Well...
Who is? Who among us?
Who can strive to be that person? Yeah, no. I don't know. I think I was just more in love with her than she was in love with me. And
that happens because we're humans.
To be fair, when you are someone of that stature, having someone who's more of the pauper, who's, I'm not successful in my life. Let's just be real about that. That's a hard gap to bridge.
Okay.
And so I think that's ultimately what did it.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, I'm a little clingy at times, and that's tough.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I hope she's doing well in her life. I hope she's gotten everything she's ever wanted. Joe Dispenza taught me that. When you get to gratitude is when you really just look at the people who hurt you and go, I wish you well. Because everything that happened in my life led me to this moment where I can help somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really interesting thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm clingy or not, but I do hold grudges. Talking about like wishing people well. Like I definitely hold grudges.
I do too. I
work to not, but I do.
Yeah.
At times.
I mean, I hold a grudge because I'm 2 for 30 in this town in auditions, and I refuse to go back to the one place now.
Oh, yeah.
Shake my fist at them. I don't know what ever made you give me the chance, but I appreciate it.
I thought you were funny.
Looking, yeah, that's probably true.
I've told you this before, and you haven't told me that anything is off limits. So I'm assuming
there's nothing off limits.
I'm assuming it's not.
We're gonna play a game later.
Because the year before you got cast in Die Hard,
yes,
you sent in you submitted by like video or by email,
Shrek.
Sure, yes, an audition for Batman Returns.
Yes.
And so if I had only ever met you by video, like if I had only ever met you like in that way, I would not have cast you. And I didn't cast you that time.
You did not.
Yeah. So but seeing you in person. But here's the other thing. Like, so for me is I can't help but be like what I do as a writer, as a director, like all those things being informed by the fact that I was performing first.
Right.
And I, even when I've played, quote unquote, like leads, like I am a character actor. Like I'm quirky. Like I bring something funky to it, know? And so again, for my self-centeredness, right? Like I have a soft spot for character actors, right? And I also like. So my longest professional experience, I spent 19 years writing and directing plays for young audiences that toured elementary schools across the country.
Yes. Which you did. We did the Emperor's New Clothes. Was that?
Yeah, we did one of those. Yeah, I did a little update of it, and we did it here. But with that experience, I most frequently would not even have any input on casting, and I would just show up, and someone who owned a theater company and liked and figured out a way to make money from theater, which is like not something that anyone figures out. Right. He figured it out, but he didn't really even like theater. He just liked his business, and he liked sales, and he was good at sales. This person would like do all the casting. And so like I'd show up in Chicago and have 16 hours to direct a company of, misfit toys that like, in mismatched puzzle pieces and try and figure out how to get these people in 16 hours to get a 45-minute show ready to tour. Like absolute wildness. So I certainly like believe that I have the skills both to work fast, but also to like quickly assess like what is the special sauce that this person might be able to bring, right. and can and how will we access that quickly and in service of this show. Yeah. And so that's really hard to do on a video. Especially when, the person who's sending it in like doesn't follow any of the instructions.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I know. It's totally fine. Well, I'm just giving you some grief, but meeting you in person, then I'm like, oh yeah, like I see this person. Like I can make this.
So I'm going to share with you something that I've never shared with you before.
Okay.
But you helped me in a lesson in my own life.
Okay.
Because when I auditioned for Die Hard, and you made me do the German accent, and I was like, yes, I think I can do a very good German accent. Yeah. I am delightfully evil. And I went home and I told my roommate, I was like, I nailed the villain. Yeah. I'm going to be Hans. Hans is who I'm going to be. I can feel it in my bones. And then when I didn't get that, I was like, what the flying French toast? Yeah. And then I just kind of like thought about it, and I like got past the anger and all that, and it was like, I can either look at this as I suck and blah blah blah, or I can look at this as I have been given the chance to play 3 separate people inside of this thing where I get to flex my acting abilities to like showcase 3 separate characters. Yeah. And so it was just a point of, I had to change my point of reference and point of view on it to make it a positive thing. And then I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's time for your last gift. Do you want to spin the wheel or do you want to pick?
Oh, wait, I thought we only do it if I'm dissatisfied.
No, you can either spin the wheel and find out what randomness you get, or you can pick.
Well, random, why not?
All right, random it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it very presentationally again.
Very presentationally. What did we come up with? Oh, here we go.
What do we get?
I don't know.
Stitch.
Stitch.
Is this gonna be like as in Lilo? Listen. Here's the deal: is that I don't give a hoot about Stitch, but you will have just made my youngest child very, very happy.
So one of the first voices I learned how to do was Stitch.
Let's hear it.
Family means no one gets left behind.
So I've never seen Lilo and Stitch, so I can't tell you how accurate it is, but I like it.
I learned Gollum the same way.
They're in this. It's the same family. Anyways, my youngest loves Stuffies and Squishmallows, so this is great.
You're going to be.
Thank you.
All right, so now we do the 10 quick questions.
Is this going to be? Am I cluttering the frame?
You're good. We're not worried about that.
Okay.
10 fast questions.
Okay.
First celebrity crush.
Jessica Alba.
Ooh, really? That's an interesting one. Jessica Alba. Really? That seems late in life, Jessica Alba.
That's the first one that came to mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My longest celebrity crush is Maria Thayer.
Is what?
Maria Thayer.
I don't know who that person is.
No one knows who she is, and that's okay. I like if you pick the ones that no one knows about, you have a better shot.
No.
David Horber dated her, from what I understand. I don't know. But I already know who your favorite basketball team is on your.
Yeah. It's on my.
Shirt.
I'm literally wearing it.
What is your favorite thing to do when no one's around?
Ooh. Play the New York Times like games, particularly Wordle Connections, Letterboxd, and Spelling Bee.
What is your least favorite thing to do?
Check things off of a to-do list.
Oh, really? There's no satisfaction in that?
No, so it was so I have ADHD. I was diagnosed late in life. I was 44, right? And one of the interesting things, and again, this is not peer reviewed, but one of the things that I saw, like an analogy for understanding how some people who live with ADHD kind of process tasks and lists, right? Is this idea that neurotypical folks, like see these items like on a timeline, like on a horizontal axis, the way that most people experience time, and that for people with ADHD and neurospicy, may sometimes see it vertically, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like having that, even the existence of the list gives this sense of pressure and this sense of like never endingness.
I understand completely.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's and one of the other funny things is like, it was like some TikTok thing where it was like, hey, person with ADHD, as well-intentioned as you are, do not buy another effing organizer. Like, do not buy another task journal.
It's bad for you.
Don't do it. It's gathering dust. You're going to do 3 pages of it and then be crushed by the immense guilt of not doing it.
All right. Well, contractually, I'm obligated to play a game with you.
Sure. Wait, were those 10 questions?
Well, no, but we're time ran.
Oh, okay. All right.
Have you ever heard of Utter Nonsense?
No, I have not.
So Play Monster.
But I like games.
Play Monster sent me these, and I said,
who?
Play Monster.
I don't know who Play Monster is. Oh, well, the makers.
The makers of the games. They sent me these.
Okay.
And I said, as long as I have them, I will continue to play them on, because you sent them to me they're my first sponsor.
Fun. Great.
So thank you again, Play Monster.
Thanks, Play Monster.
So Utter Nonsense is actually a great improv game. Now we have the regular or the uh-oh.
Let's go with the one that's open.
That's the uh-oh. No one ever wants to play the regular one. So this is...
Well, you should open it first. That I really just was going with the path of least resistance.
Well, no, it's fine. No one's ever... So this is a great improv game. Since you're an improvisationer.
Oh, boy. It wasn't open. It was a trick,
no,
Steve.
they are.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking. I joke.
No,
They're
fine.
not always good, but I joke.
My jokes aren't good either. That's why my comedy career hasn't taken off the way it's supposed to.
Wow.
All because of a presidential candidate I got involved in stand-up comedy.
All we have is time.
Thank you, Larry Elder, by the way. Okay, so...
Yeah, very loud train.
This is what we do.
Okay.
The way that I play it on the air is we draw a voice card.
Okay. Do I look at it?
Well, yes, we're both going to do that voice, and we're going to have to pick up a random saying and say that saying in that whatever voice you pick.
Okay, impressions are not my strength.
That's okay.
What I lack in accuracy, I will make up for in enthusiasm.
I love it.
All right, so I pick up a voice first or phrase first?
Pick a voice first.
Pick a voice first.
So you can try and channel your inner character.
Sure, yeah.
What's our
and
voice?
Scene.
What's our
voice? I'm going to tell you?
Yeah, we're going to do it together. We're going to do the same voice.
Really?
Yeah.
What if you try and guess what my voice is?
Guess what your voice?
Yeah.
I believe it is Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah. Well, I have to do the phrase, right? No, I'm sorry. I don't need to be the boss. The voice is the voice is
so
Valley
we
Girl.
Be a Valley Girl.
Yeah,
now we draw a
Great.
phrase.
Do I put this over here?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay, so now you gotta be the best Valley girl saying whatever it is on your card.
Blondes don't have more fun. People without kids have more fun.
Oh, nice. My clowning is a little rusty, but my spit take is on point.
Ridiculous. Great.
Yeah, that's
okay.
good.
Now,
All right.
Okay,
Now we gotta be a surfer.
So, yeah. Well, I mean, you really could just we could do the same exact, I mean.
Kind of. I just like to channel my inner Bill Clay.
Sure. Pauly Shore, I get you.
Hey, like a steam your vagina, La Gwyneth our queen.
Wait, what? You got to say it again. None of that made sense.
Steam your vagina, La Gwyneth our queen.
Oh, it's a goop joke. Okay. If the voice inside my head said things outside my head, I'd have no friends.
Dude, that was awesome. That was so good. It's your turn to pick.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, what do we got? British. Uh-oh.
So here's the thing though, because like British actors are doing American accents all the time, right? But I have heard that the criticism, is that like every American who tries to do British, right? They're all like speaking like the Queen's English from 1935, right? They're like not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like how actual British people talk. So that's all to say that when I do this poorly, it's just because I'm just doing it modern.
First of all, I have a problem with one of the British actors.
Okay.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah. What's your problem with him?
Question my sexuality during Thor. In that scene where Chris Hemsworth is covered in rain and he's pulling the hammer up. And I was like, I can see why women think that's hot. It's unfortunate.
You don't have to be gay to think that's hot. And also, if you have gay feelings, who cares?
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm just here to say, Steve, live your life.
Well, that's not always an accurate thing. You should not always just live your life because it gets you homeless 8 times. You should try and do better sometimes in life.
I feel like you're not talking about me. I feel... Okay.
All right, so your best British accent.
Oh, boy. I'm going first on this one?
Yes.
This...
I do the same.
I got shot down harder than a Chrissy Teigen Twitter troll.
Oh, that was very Cockney.
Yeah,
very Cockney.
Something.
I like it.
Something.
I like it. Do STDs count as a pre-existing condition? That was terrible.
But I think the answer is yes. I mean,
do they?
Wait.
Oh, here we go.
I mean, if you go into the doctor and you already had it,
you should have news anchor.
Oh, sure.
You should have some experience to draw on that.
Okay. All right.
I mean, isn't one of your good friends a news anchor?
One of my good friends is a news anchor,
so
but I am not. Okay. Oh wait, this is one's you first.
This just did. David Letterman looks like he went to 30 Rock to crack rock.
Ridiculous. North Korea and my ex are tied atop the crazy scale.
That was delightful.
Thank you.
You're very good at this.
Thank you. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Wait, we're okay.
We're gonna keep going.
When does it end? Oh, dominatrix. Okay.
Oh goodness. Whew, dominatrix.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I need like a whip or a spanking sound effect.
Exactly,
you need like
whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's me, right?
It's you first. You drew the card.
I feel like this is a real. If we're just doing voice acting, I'm gonna get like real up on this mic. I'm gonna get uncomfortable on this.
Okay.
I'm gonna make the mic very uncomfortable.
Okay. I can sanitize them, so it's fine.
Wait. Never trust a dude named Aaron.
Oh, all right. I'm down to earth in a sometimes I use Uber X kind of way.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like, I mean, just because you're a dominatrix doesn't mean it has to be like angry. Donald Duck.
I cannot talk
No.
like Donald Duck. I can be angry like Donald Duck.
We'll do it. Were there words on it?
There was words.
Wait, you gotta try. You gotta try.
My card is Hitler kind of ruined it for anyone named Adolf.
Sure.
Sure.
Hell is soggy cereal.
Donald Duck?
I was never gonna get it.
You weren't even gonna try.
No.
You just threw me to the wolves on that one. All right.
Yeah.
You're going again. That was evil. Evil, my friend.
Shout.
Shout, let it all
Okay.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go for whatever you want.
Yeah. I've got an idea. Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Wait. Wait. I had an idea and now it's gone. Can you go first?
Yeah. I went to Fry Fest and all I got was this lousy Ja Rule album. That was like John Lithgow
That
almost.
was fun. I'm way too sober for this administration.
Oh, nice. That's how most people in Washington feel.
Okay.
Oh, nonsense judge's choice cartoon character. So what cartoon character do you think you could pull off?
Do I think I could pull off?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll try a Mickey Mouse.
Okay, I like it. Mickey Mouse. I love the fact that Bugs Bunny is actually Groucho Marx.
Oh, sure. I get that.
I love Groucho
Yeah,
Marx.
I mean, with the carrot and
Yeah,
all that
what's
stuff.
up,
Yeah.
Doc?
All right. Wait, I said Mickey Mouse.
You did Mickey Mouse.
All right. Nope, but I'll try it. We're getting new furniture, and I'm so fucking excited.
There you go. You won't see any unboxing of my real feelings because you got to keep that shit boxed up.
Oh, I thought we were both doing Mickey Mouse. Clearly not.
No,
That's
you
fine.
You get the judge's
That's fine.
choice. You can choose.
Oh, sure.
It's your pick.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And then I only have you for 2 more minutes. So
All
this will
right.
probably be our last.
Wait, again? No.
is that?
I want to be told what to do. I don't want to
All
pick
right,
what to
here.
do. I don't want to pick.
You're being a vampire.
Okay. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. Let's
All
do
right,
it.
a vampire.
All right.
We didn't get any of the bad ones. This is kind of disappointing.
Yoga is a fad that won't go away.
That is one.
Oh, I wasn't done. I was still at no.
Oh, that is one bad vampire impersonation. Love me some global entry.
Great.
Great. All right, last one.
What's? Oh, sure. Oh, yes.
Can you be? We'll deal a dealer's choice. They're scared, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or poopy.
Pooping.
Pooping. Why
Why
should
wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Everyone has to do it. I miss the simpler times. Oh, when there were only 3 Star Wars movies. Oh,
This is a big one.
yeah. If every woman ever said to me, I would still not be single.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Good for you.
Yeah. Please stop talking. I just want a lampshade, not a relationship.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't want a lampshade, really?
Yeah, I don't know who doesn't want
Relationships
to.
are complicated. Lampshades just cover things up.
Yeah, I'm glad I have a relationship. I don't want to. I would not trade it for a lampshade.
I have 6 cats.
Yeah.
Therefore, prevents me from having relationships.
I don't think I remembered that you have 6. That's a solid number of
It is
cats.
well, I don't know if you know this, but I have multiple personalities, and
You have said as much.
and so it's almost like I have 1 cat for every active personality.
Okay.
That's at least the joke I like to use. I went through some stuff, and all of a sudden, cat adoption got away from me, and it became like my drug for a bit.
Listen, you're doing something
like
kind
cake.
you're doing something kind for a living thing. That sounds like a good. That sounds like a good idea.
I don't know if they'd say it's kind. They think they're very mistreated.
Oh.
I don't see them a whole lot anymore because I work so much.
Sure.
But they always think they're hungry or
Yeah.
something's not right.
We were talking about. I was talking about cats with my oldest on the way to school today, and because my wife is allergic to cats, though she loved her cat growing up, and I had 2 cats, but we're really a dog house, but love cats.
I was just told that I was supposed to have a dog because their dogs can help with the multiple personalities apparently as a service dog.
A doctor told you that?
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I have no place for a dog, so there will be.
Oh, is this the play out music? Is that what this is?
I don't know what that was going on. I was trying to back out.
All right, getting played out. Did I win an award? Did I talk about my mom too much?
No, you're good. But I do want to thank you for your time.
Thank
for
you. It
sharing
was
this.
fun.
And I hope our viewers come and see. When does Die Hard open?
December 5th. It runs through the 22nd.
Yeah.
12 performances, Thursday through Sunday.
Tickets are available at
mirrorboxtheater.com.
And for those of you out there who know that I like to give things away, I will be purchasing tickets for the show to give away.
Oh, that's nice.
But here's the catch. As always, you have to recommend someone else to receive them.
Oh.
So you can email us, or you can just highlight the comment in the channels. wedgestevens@gmail.com is always a great way to get a hold of us. And until next time, you guys have a great life.
Have a good one. Can we high five? Real high? Yeah.
We can high five.
Awesome. I'm going to guess I'm still on.
You are still on.
That's fine.
You're not now.
Now I'm off.